All right, yogis, I was going to start today on the back. We don't start too much on the back. So just for a few moments, you create that grounded, that centered self, self-aware breath practice, internal connection, right? So you still your body. I'm going to do soles of the feet together, knees open. This is one of my favorite reclining starts. I get the inner thighs opening. That's a lymphatic area. And then I bring the arms above like this. This is another high density lymphatic area. So if you're unfamiliar, lymphatic is part of your immune system, okay? It's the vessels that lead to lymph nodes, which are sacs filled with white blood cells. All right, so let's take a moment here to breathe. As I move through the exercises, I might be a little ahead. You might be done before me. You pace it out on your own based on how you're feeling and your level as always, okay? Let's get going here. I'm not even gonna do knee squeeze. It's so basic, you add it on your own. You know that one, okay? You roll out of anything. I'm gonna start right into the bridge and the crunch. It's like doing a vinyasa in a sense, okay? On the inhale, I'll lift my hips for the bridge. And on the exhale, I'm gonna do my little crunch. So that's kind of like a plank, right? The front body has to work, okay? Then on the inhale, the back body, it's kind of like your up dog, cobra. And then exhale, it's this little crunch, okay? And as you can see, I'm not lifting my highest either. If you want a little bit more, yogis, inhale, arms back, get those arms moving. We do this start quite often. It's been maybe a few weeks, okay? Then you inhale. If you want a little bit more, you can exhale, bring the knees in more too, right? Just get some nice quality contractions through the back, glutes, and then the front body. Last few here. So if you're just joining, we're doing a little bridge and crunch start. We opened up the inner thighs and underarms and a light stretch to start. Now we're just getting that front and back body turned on with the classic bridge, hollow body. We took a low boat, but easier. And then the bridge, but kind of dynamically put together. The back bend, the forward bend that you might start with, just like cat-cow, right? It's a back bend, a forward bend. You're doing it here, but it's a little bit more strenuous variation, all right? As you can tell, we never did this. A lot of times when I'm in groups at like a fitness club, we don't start like this because people might be new to cat-cow, moving their spine in a complex way. But then you guys, I know, so we can add weight-bearing resisted version of cat-cow right from the start. That's really not actually for a true beginner. It's more like a high-tier beginner exercise, okay? So listen, you're gonna bring your knees into your chest and prepare for that next little exercise. And I'm gonna stay right in the front body. Now I'm gonna bring the arms down. Now the easiest is to go like this. I'm trying to keep my lower back down, but I wanna move the knees. Look, I'm intentionally bending and straightening. And after you get a little bit more warmed up, okay, you can go a little bit faster. You might do a few bends. Maybe you work on straightening, maybe you work on more of like a pedal, and then you reverse directions. Now I'm going low first, see that? Okay, just move those legs a little bit. You could, if you want more core, curl the upper body. Last few, guys.
I can't get back to where it was. Hope I just get.
All right, so we start to move those legs a little bit. Now watch me. I want you to go really slow. For extra block between your thighs or your knees, arms down, head down. Look at this. I'm drawing a circle really slow. So my knees come toward my chest, across the chest. out to the left, but then down to the left corner of the mat. So now we're getting into that full complexity mode. It went symmetrical front back, asymmetrical front, now very complex front. Got it? So there's a little system. It's just steps. Last few. I started to reverse directions. I'm not really going for peak core strength. Usually, guys, if you're using core in the beginning, it's not always the case, but if you're using core in the beginning, it's not really going to hit peak core muscle strain unless your blood's not really flowing yet, your body temperature's not increased, your nervous system's not in fight or flight. So I usually wait to do core in the middle or the end because the conditions within the body are a little better for solid muscular firing. So just be aware that you're not really going for like peak core. All right. Next little exercise here, guys, is the big twist. I'll show you from this angle. Your arms go wide. Exhale, right knee toward left arm. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, left knee toward right arm. Inhale, right knee, left arm, exhale. Go ahead. If you want, you can go straight leg too. It's like tapping your toes to your opposite hand. Don't just swing the leg too much. There should be a certain amount of muscular integrity through all movements. This is a big movement. Don't overdo it. It's another fantastic kind of dynamic core twist. We don't do it often enough. I tend to stick with two other ones on the back. The one where you roll on your side and you go open like this, and then the one where the knees are up and you go side. So this is a little bit more. Just be aware of that. And twisting a little is enough, and it's intelligent, right? To try to be kind to your body and not always force. Yoga will hurt more if you're doing that end range forcing all the time. You'll get different effects and then form a different opinion on what yoga is and what it does to your body based on maybe something you're doing that you're not noticing, okay? So that's the big dynamic twist. We got to seal the back body now with the big, strong bridge hold. You feel good? One-legged bridge or angled bridge. So soles of the feet together need what? I want a nice, strong bridge hold now. I mean, you're having the best day of your life, you do wheel or you do like a up table or plank. If you're feeling good, you can go for it, all right? So let's go ahead, bridge, kind of right into it, hold. Remember, posterior tilt. A lot of you were in Tuesday's class. This is one of the most important positions for the posterior tilt. Maybe you walk your hands underneath your body and you grip the hands and you can roll the shoulders under, start stretching the front chest. You kind of inch side to side. What you do eventually, it's probably early for it, but you reach your hands kind of more between your feet and eventually even grab the ankles. It's called bound bridge. It's just like bow or camel when you reach and grab the heels. If that's too much, no big deal. A lot of days when I'm exercising, even though I'm a yoga teacher, I throw out a lot of all the really flexible yoga stuff. I'm doing a lot of like really small things and, tightening, basically. That's strengthening, right? So you don't get trapped in your head. There's certain days you have the intention of going like smaller and slower and not thinking about range really, all right? You did your second bridge. Let's keep going, guys. I want you to grab the hamstrings, take a happy baby, intermediates. You always say plow. If you want to go big, this is like after the bridge, it's a big back body opener. This kind of works too though, right? So don't feel pressured for plow. I like to take happy baby and do like abduction. So I'll open my legs wide and I'll close. Sometimes I even like to do like this happy baby without the grip, where I'm just kind of scissoring wide. Okay, it's a really nice one. If you do that with ankle weights, it's really a lot more. All right, let's make our way up to seated. We're gonna do an exercise or three here. Feet wide, Now I want you to go slow. This is dynamic stretching. Build the range if you're going for range. Don't just jam into it. I'm going to inhale up right, exhale right hand toward left toe. Okay? No rush. I'm a little ahead of you. Inhale neutral, exhale. I'm not side bending. I'm turning. Get into your breath. Move your body. Want some movement. If it's tough, what do? You bend the knees. You put pillows underneath your knees. You go like this instead. Usually inhale upright, exhale, because it's not a weight-bearing resistance. A lot of times on the contraction, the shortening plane, I'll have you exhale, right? Here it's reversed. On the contraction back, where as a push-up or a pull-up, you exhale into the strain. The strain of this is actually getting back, right? So exhale, inhale, exhale. You can do it a little faster too if you're feeling good. You want to get about 15 of these, 20 of these at least. I didn't have you rotate the hips. A lot of twisting happened today, as you can see. I'm preparing you for the bigger twist. Now my feet go wide and bend. Same thing, except hip rotation, basically. Does everyone see it? Now the knees are knocking. If this is a lot on your back, take a stretch, do your foam rolling. Last few. We've done this one before. Again, if you need the other angle, just notice my feet are wide, yogis. They're not like this. It's not this. Okay? I'm reaching that left hand. My knee's not right. You can see the deep internal rotation of the left hip, external abduction on the right hip. I'm reaching across the body. I'm not really like rounding or bending in the spine. And I'm just going to keep moving because it's all regulars today. And there's no perfect amount there. We did 2 of those in a row. You don't need too much. Then you sit up and you do your nice little stretch here. Inhale. Okay, I'm just taking an extra moment here because I'm really sore today. So I'm just like tightening up my back after the strong rotation dynamically, the kind of tightening, and then the symmetrical front back body. Oh, you're tight, and do it like this. You pace it out on your own. Watch what I do. The left knee bends. Remember first position, Konasana. Left foot on the inner right thigh. Watch. I turn open to the left. My right foot stayed out. Now it's like my right leg is on the side. Now we do the side bend I mentioned not to do earlier. Left arm up and over toward the right foot. Look, lengthen sides, turn chest up. So we're doing movements, strengtheners, and stretches intertwined. Some days I'm leaning towards one of those. So you take your time. You're just going to basically switch sides however you want to, however long you need to hold it today. So some days I'm giving you freedom in exercises. Today it's more freedom in timing because it's really a combination of both of those, personalizing the practice. This is that first big side opener. right? Everything in this class so far has been core. So we got to get to the arms and legs in the weight bearing form now. Bridges, it's core. It's not really like legs, right? Even though it's back body. So listen, I'm going to come right to tabletop. I'm going to do an active tabletop work now. It's cat-cow, then you know it. It's hovering. Knees hover an inch. If you want to keep your knees down, wonderful. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale, round the spine. Cat-cow. My knees are hovering, just in case you can't see. Okay? Cow, cat. Cow, cat. Go ahead. So the dynamic movements like this and the easier activations, they're so good for sore days. So yesterday was one of the biggest days I've exercised in like 10 years. I played 10 to 12 straight basketball games, full court intensity yesterday. I go to the big club, I play basketball. I start at 5:15. I never lost. I was on the winning team until everyone left at 8:30. I never lost. We kept running and running. That's the hardest exercise. I couldn't even walk last night. I was so sore. Everyone plays so rough, but I already feel so much better just from that 10 minutes. See, you don't need too much exercise. You don't need to do an hour every day. 15 minutes, 20 minutes changes the body a lot. So just a reminder, sometimes the days when you're sore is when you really need it the most. Get the fluids moving and everything going. Okay. Down dog is next, yogis. Okay. I know some of you were done there a while ago. Hit the down dog, please. So when you're on your back, your legs were up and you were swinging them forward like this. That's front body tension, leg swing. Can we do the back body leg lift? It's very simple. You inhale your right leg high, maybe pulse it once or twice up. It's glute. And then you put the right foot down when you feel the butt turn on. And then you bring the left leg up on the inhale and the legs kind of pulses up. You can do it in plank too if you want more challenge. And then you bring it down. Then you just get into it. That you're in the down dog and really quality from the hip joint. You point the toes so you get the back line better. And then you pulse the leg up right from the butt. I often have talked about, there's been a few people over time who know their kinesiology, and they've said, why are you so obsessed with hip extension? Hip extension and strengthening your butt are like the same thing. Okay, so is posterior tilt. If we make the butt stronger, the idea I've talked about is tensegrity. We know that if the butt gets weak, psoas locks up, glute medius locks up, hamstring lock up, lower back lock up. And that's the most common thing. I massage, I had 3 new clients last week. I touch muscular bodies for a job. I get insight that most people don't get about the conditions of people. And most people are doing yoga. So everyone's butt is really soft and not really developed. There's a few people who are lucky to have backline dominance, but the reason I'm obsessed with it is because of the conditions I see in the average person's body. Even a lot of fit people, the butt is really weak. Okay, we make the butt strong, we change a lot. Okay, down to the knees, guys. So I want to try something. This is a weird thing. Got to do a little weird yoga now, different than anything we've done. I want you to think your little bear crawl, whatever they call it. So I'm going to ask you to get a little bit, animalistic here. I'm going to hover the knees. Watch this. Right hand forward. Left knee touches left wrist. I'm crawling. Left pause. Left hand forward. Right knee, right wrist about. So it's like I'm going to crawl forward really slow. Oh, then I'm going to crawl back. And I want to turn this into like a plank. Think of this like a plank, but we're moving in it. We hold plank too much, guys. Watch me here. Then I start to go side. Okay, then I go side. There's your 2 planes. Watch. Then I start to turn. And then I start to go all around. Can I give you another minute and a half to work in there? To crawl on all 4s? And have fun doing it, yogis. It's not work. You're just playing around now. Okay? If it's difficult, you're doing it right. You know, it's not supposed to be easy. If it gets easy, then I got to find something else to challenge it. Eventually, you can do this on the tabletop. You do it on your back. They call that crab walk. When I was on the football team, we had to line up on the goal line, race, and crab walk to the other side. If you're just joining, you joined at a very interesting moment. We did a lot of warm up in the core and in the glutes, and then you're trying this little kind of, there's a certain name for this, slipping my mind, but you're walking around on all fours. Okay. And if you're not into it, no big deal. I don't mind. Maybe it's, you're like, wanted to hold some normal yoga poses today. Okay, you come back to down dog. Maybe you need a quick child pose after that, kind of soften things. And I was thinking just a few kind of basic chaturangas, spinal rolls, push-ups area. You feel really good. You can remember our shoulder push-ups. We're going to go into the legs next. So you're thinking arms still. It's just like the gym, right? You go and you do your arm exercises, and then you go do your leg exercise, then you do your core. It's the same thing. That was more of the complexity. You take a quick rest, and then everyone in the class knows the chaturanga area. Good days, you're working your push-ups, your shoulder push-ups. Weaker days, you're going from child pose to cobra. We all have those weak days. And then really best day, you might do a handstand at the wall or something, or you're doing your headstand, okay? What does your body need today? It's okay, they're all great. It's tough. I teach at 2 fitness centers, Equinox and Bay Club, and it's all like athletes starting yoga. So the athletes come in and they have really a tough time slowing down, being easy on their body. They always think like more on the body's better. And the science is pretty clear that that's not the case. It's moderate exercisers that live the longest and tend to feel the best, they say, right? So moderate does mean some strong days, though. If you're always too easy, you're on the lower tier. You're not in the middle. You're between being lazy and working out in the middle. So you got to have these days of the strain and the strength and the intensity that bring you to the middle. Moderate is a balancing of the high and the low. A lot of days off easy, light and kind on the body, but then a few days, here and there, really intense. All right, guys, can we stand up? You walk your feet to the front of your mat. I look at the screens. A lot of you are done there already, so don't worry. You're gonna get more arms. Okay, I'm just gonna have you stand up. You already touched your toes. You already did the straddles, and you did it all there, so you don't need to go there. So now we're gonna do this little bridge movement. Think of it like one of my squat kriyas. We've done a lot of different variations. We've actually done this one time. Okay, I want to think this movement. It's called horizontal abduction. So basically, I'm going to stand up a little bit here, and then when I squat, I'm going to bring the arms in front. Remember, bringing the arms in front is a counterbalance. You can squat deeper. So I'm just going to do this little pump. I feel my back fire. I straighten my knees a little bit. So remember, after the bear crawl, we're doing very linear stuff now. You had the moment when you went side to side and it was very clunky and off balance. Now you're really tightening it up, right? If you can slow down enough, as you come in here, you're kind of squeezing the chest. And as you go up a little bit, you're engaging your back muscles. Okay, it's like you have a band and you're pulling back. And then as you come in here, you're squeezing here. And you're also bending and straightening the knees, right? So it's full body, there's core, there's legs. So just get into it. Don't obsess over how perfect you can do it, because it takes years of this stuff to do it perfect or really well. Okay, so there's a nice little squat for you. And then no rush. I'm gonna have you stand right up and step a left foot to the back of the mat. Now you just kind of hold the lunge, all right? You know me, I like to give a little bounce just to get into it. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good. I step back a little further. All right, I'm feeling even better. I drop the back knee a little bit more for strength. Let's try the big arm circle today. We haven't done that in a while, okay? The arms go up, watch this. It's like a big windmill. I'm turning my chest a little left as the left arm goes back, turning my chest a little right. You know, and if I speed it up, it looks kind of like this. I just want you to move the arms a little bit today. It's just a little something different we haven't done in a while. You know, we never do this kind of big windmilling of the arms. That's a good movement. Okay, and then maybe you go backwards quickly. And it might make you a little more unstable in your lunge. That's good, right? You're kind of finding a way to make the lunge like this instead of just being locked here. Okay? You can feel if you slow down, the core has to fire a lot. Okay, can we do the second side? Nice lunge hold. Did some leg movements here, and then we were in here, the crawl. So the right foot goes back, guys. And I'm just gonna get right into it. Move those arms a little bit more today. All right, if you never move the body fast, we want to do that some days, and we're about to try to move the legs fast. If you came in a little after we started, I just mentioned that I want to mix in some fast twitch movements. That just means, like, I use the example of jumping jacks, okay? And it's a fantastic exercise, jumping jacks. You know, and we don't want to be closed-minded in yoga. This is yoga, this is not, that silly thing. Let's be, open-minded and use all the tools from all over the place for our development, all right? So listen, now you step forward. So the squatting was kind of sticky in here. Then you were front and back with the legs. And now, how about we do it? Jumping jacks, it's the most common one. But make it nice and smooth, but a little faster. Get into a rhythm. Think about meditating in it. Go. If you're not comfortable jumping, good. So think about it. The legs are adducting, right? They're widening, and then they're shortening. So you're going like this with the legs. So we do this a lot like this. We lay on the side and do the leg lifts. You know, things like warrior 2 and half moon are all in that same type of thing. So loosen it up a little bit, guys. Can we try to lunge with the fast twitch? Well, I'm gonna do 2 more fast twitch, so just stay focused here. We do all 3 planes, right? You did side to side, that's called sagittal. Wait, that's called coronal or frontal, because you can see it from the front. Watch me here. Arms are gonna go here, watch. So now the legs are going forward and back. If that's too much, you can kind of just jog in place, and that works, or you just go like an inch. It is a little jump. Okay, you're getting good at it. You're going a little faster. Just be careful of your toes. You know, it is barefoot. Okay, I'm trying to speed it up a little bit. You want more strength? Bounding lunges. Watch me here. This is very athletic. That's taking it further. Get into it. Try it. 1 minute only. 1 minute. Remember, Hatha yoga, I know in my email it says slower holding poses, right? I'll tend to try to stick to that, but it's in Hatha yoga, we can do anything physical. We can go for a jog in Hatha yoga. We could lay on our back the whole time in Hatha yoga. We could do sun salutations. We could do jumping jacks. That can be Hatha yoga. It's finding yoga through physical action. That's what it means, okay? I know that there's been these yogis who created these systems that are so, conditioned into the yoga community. But when you study the Hatha yoga scriptures, it's very clear that any exercise can really be, in a sense, a path to more awareness, okay? So you're done there, right? And I want to do the fast twitch now. So you did this one already, so we're not going to do that one. You did this one already. You did this one, you did this one, you did this one. So I want to do that fast core. We could do something like this, but I want to stay with the fast twitch. It's right in the core, because you just did the legs and the arms. I want this to fire. You know it. I love this one. Squeeze your pelvic floor. It's called Ganesha. Right arm. Remember, if my right palm's forward, I inhale right. Now you look, a lot of core. Get like 100 contractions quickly done in the core. So it's not like crunches, where there's a lot of, it's fast twitch activation of your core. It's very different, okay, than doing crunches. Go. Now, do I move my head? If it makes you dizzy, no. I move my head sometimes. I like to close my eyes and move my head. Inhale, exhale. I'm not jamming the body, okay? You're also working your legs. It's your static squat. I love this exercise. All right, now, this is classic yoga, by the way. And then get to the second side. If your back hurts, just be easy. Left palm is forward, so I inhale left. I'm really closing my eyes, making sure I'm squeezing my pelvic floor, making sure I'm not arching the back here. I'm slight tuck of the tailbone. And I'm really feeling the core, relaxing the traps. I don't want the head going forward like this, guys. Got it? Get into it, last few moments. After this, we're gonna do static balance, and then you're gonna see a posture and you're just gonna hold it. 1 second, yogis. All right, so you're done there. I'm not going to have you touch your toes because we kind of did all that stuff, because this next one is basically that too. All right, I'm going to have you do a warrior 3 hold. If you want to do standing splits, easier would be pyramid. Easiest would be half splits. Where I'm going to stay is middle. It's warrior 3. It's really strong is standing split, stop, or toppling tree type. All right, if you'd like, lift the left knee just for a moment. Now we're slowing down, tightening it up, right? After the fast movements. We're here. Okay, left knee lifts. Here I go. Left leg back and straight, and I hinge. All right, let's work in the subtleties now. I'm pulling the belly in, right? Dropping my left hip down, straightening my left knee. I'm either pointing or flexing my left foot. And you know what to do, yogis. Now you get subtle body and you work. You slow down the mind. Remember, handstand hops, this would be a good time. In case I'm not teaching it, I'll remind you the spaces that might be an easy entry. Some more breaths. Nice, standing split is a really good one. It's basically a big forward bend. You're not rounding your spine. It's gonna really round once you go to standing splits, but just be aware of it at least. You're already making a huge impact on your self-awareness if you're just aware of what you're doing, not necessarily being able to do it well. Okay, my back rounds. I'm trying to anterior tilt and extend the spine. All right, we can stand up with the left knee into the chest for a moment. That's just like the back bend after the forward bend, right? So the muscles that were forward bent, your spine and your butt, they have to engage in the back line. Okay, then you put the left foot down, you shake it out for a breath. That would be like a vinyasa between, maybe. And then the right knee is going to lift. This is one of the most simple, most important exercises. We do it on our back all the time. This is child pose, by the way. See, it's active. In child pose, the knee compresses to the armpit. Now I'm here just holding it. That's child pose, okay? And then you take the warrior three. Go, guys. Have some fun, work, you know what to do. Yep, nice, Des. That pyramid is basically the same position as warrior three. You know, they're so similar. And again, half splits with the back knee down is like our really stretchy version. Warrior three is basically a split eventually. Once you're a ballerina or gymnast or something, you know, your leg can go like way up. You see the experts, their spine is parallel to the floor, bottom foot down, left leg straight up. That's once you can do this with maximum strength and minimal resistance in the body. So peak flex and strength merge. That's what the pose looks like. It splits, but you're standing on a foot. All right, so when you're done, it looks like most of you are done there. Can you shake it out for a moment? This is one we did last week. I can't remember which class it was, but it's a very subtle movement, okay? And it's just the rotation. And the gentle, I have you do stuff like this. I've had you do stuff like this. We got to learn to pivot. We have to learn to rotate with the compound abduction, right? This is a really fantastic one. You don't have to do many, especially if your hip flexors bother you. Watch me here, guys. A really fantastic one. Left knee lifts, right knee bends, belly in. Look, I do turn my core and my knee and my hip over. My target is actually my right hip, okay? And then I'm turning out. Look at that. My abdomen and chest are facing this way, but my right toes didn't pivot. They're forward. Watch. Here. A slight pause. Here. That is our half moon and our revolve moon today. It's like, so just in case, it's all about this hip. Look. If this hip is closed chain, it internally rotates. And then as I open, it externally rotates. It's gonna burn the hip flexor, that's normal too, all right? You just did this for a while. That's the antagonist. I try to make it doable as possible, guys. You know, there's going to be struggle and pain and uncomfort in the journey. That's just the price. Okay, it's not. You're never going to growth and getting stuff's never going to be easy. There's a price to pay on comfort and a little soreness. Can we do the second side? Looks like some of you are there. Just remember the bend in the standing knee, a little micro bend. It's not locked straight in this one. I go over, I pause, and then I open. And I pause and I feel that outer glute, right? That's the piriformis in the butt. I said, why are you so obsessed with strengthening the butt? It's a butt strengthener, okay? It's also hip flexor though. What does a therapist do? What does a therapist do when your hip flexor is stuck short? They gotta bring it into the asymmetrical extension. So they have you do stuff like this. They have you do stuff like this. The same stuff, yogis. This is just the stretch version. So if you came in a little bit late, I asked you to grab a strap. Okay? Take your time if you need to get one here, guys. If you don't have a strap, pair of sweatpants is my favorite, or a long beach towel. I just want to do the big shoulder openers because we're about to hit the shoulder now. If you're feeling it in your back, it's been an interesting class. It's been fast twitch merged with the crawling and then this. It's a tough class today. Or let's just call it awkward on the body. The first one we do is this. I want arms nice and wide and straight. And you go here. It's like they call it a closed chain arm circle. You're just kind of slowing down and kind of softening for a moment. If I've mentioned this type of strap, look at it's stretchy. This is like my favorite strap I have. And it also has the loops with the measurements. When you're getting like super serious with yoga, you know the loop number you're on and you're working towards the other loop numbers in the exercises. So it's a clear measurement and then it gives a little bit. So it's not so locked, right? And it's really a great strap. These are like what the new straps look like in yoga these days. A lot of the people are buying these, not the ones that you make a buckle and not the really stiff ones. They have a give if you haven't seen those, okay? Next one here, guys, is the Gomukhasana with the forward bend. If you want to do headstand instead, that's fine. I'm going to bring the right arm up, elbow in, strap down the spine. Let's slow down here. And what am I doing here to start? I'm kind of squeezing my butt and my thighs, tightening everything up after the fast twitch, after the awkward, achy hip flexor and back. Okay, so I just kind of like, I call it like power stance, butt, belly, I lock everything. Lock isn't the best word, but it works there. Gomukhasana. If you want more, then I soften and lengthen and I go forward. This is our big shoulder stretch. I'm also going to do eagle to seal it all in right after this, okay? And that's final standing balance, standing pose. You know, ideally, the weight's a little bit more in the toes. The knees are bent on the start in the beginner, so it helps the spine stay longer. If you got back pain, you got to bend your knees and lengthen your spine. But in the more practice, the weight's in the toes more, the legs are locked straight more. So the knee, when I say legs straight, I mean the knee, right? If I say arms straight, I mean the elbow, the joint within the arm that causes it to be bent or not, or the leg. So let's do our second side. You're just going to basically stand up. And then you're going to switch sides with the arms. So left arm up. In the beginner, they want to lock the knee and the spine rounds a lot. In the informed beginner, the knees bend, the spine stays more long. In the intermediate, the legs are starting to straight, but the spine is again rounding, but you're aware of it now. And you're doing it all intentionally. And then in the advanced, it's like straight spine, straight legs. But that takes maybe many lifetimes, right? If you're studying exercise like theory, there's this general stuff going across the world because most of the population is not physically fit, right? So they have to give all this structured stuff to the general population. Just to be clear, no one in this class falls into that category of being not physically fit. So there's all this stuff that's now labeled as good and bad because of a certain population. And, you know, when you're trying to become physically capable, you have to go way outside all those general rules. And I try to express that idea. I go into gyms all the time and I'm doing all the shit, excuse my language, all the stuff that's wrong. All right. So you have to be careful with that because you're telling your body, if you do that, you're telling your body it's weak and not capable. So we got our final standing posture. So your arms were like this, and your legs were straight and you were going forward. It's the opposite. It's a back bend, it's a cross thigh. And it's the final balance. You did your squats here. You did your squats here. Now you cross. Let's do our eagle. Final shoulder opener. Right arm under left. Intertwine your forearms. Press through your palms. It's like I'm pulling my elbows into each other. And you feel the back spread now. Get low. A little shoulder extra love today. Right knee lifts, cross, and then maybe you can double wrap. Right? So the more you work out your legs, the more double eagle gets tough. Okay? So I sneak the foot behind the calf. My knees are in center. The knees are going left. Bob, pull them back to the right. And then squeeze everything in. Don't lean forward. You just did that. Lean back. Okay? Last few breaths here. It is a tightener. Squeezing everything in. The arms were spreading out up and back and wide. Oh, hey, Dessa, I can see you on 2 screens. Okay, and then your final standing pose, yogis. I want you to think of this as, you know, you held one lunge, you held one squat, you held the warrior 3, and that last, not too much leg stay. We're not doing the half moon and the triangles and the warrior 2, right? We're just taking a break from those traditional things. They'll be back before you know it, okay? Can we do the second side? Remember, if it's left arm under right, it's left leg over right. So it's the left that's the cue. Left over. Classic yoga pose here. Kind of scanning through the body. Oh, wow, Dessa, you're doing eagle with Gomukhasana arms. So we, just in case, we did the Gomukhasana here with the legs wide and we forward fold, right? We were here. See? Now the arms go in front of you. We were in eagle, so we're on the second side, left arm on the right, just in case you got signed off or something. Now we're here in the eagle, okay? It's okay, it's not a big deal, but now the knees are bent and the arms are crossed in front of you instead of being here. No worries, just a reminder in case that's a cool version we do though. You know, we do eagle with Gomukhasana, it's more challenging, okay? So listen, yogis, we got about 10 minutes left. You got time, we've been stretching all class. Eagle's a stretch, you just stretched out your shoulders too much. So what would we do? Probably tighten them up a little bit. One last quick weight bear on the arms. Now we didn't do side planks, okay? We didn't do, too many arm things. So I'm gonna take a yogi squat to make my way down. If you wanna do a nice sun salutation, that might feel good, okay? So I'm gonna inhale up. Now I'm at the front of my mat, okay? And then I'm gonna come back here. All right, what do you wanna work on? One last quick arm weight bearer. A fun one here, guys, is to do, this one's a good one we haven't done. Dolphin high plank. Dolphin high plank. Okay, it's not too hard on the arms. Maybe hold the low push-ups. Hold the low push-ups. Maybe dolphin low push-up. Dolphin low push-up. That's a really good arm trainer we haven't done in a while. Uh-oh, I just lost like 4 computers. What did I say? So, can I get one more arm trainer? I always like to use side plank as an arm trainer. I also have you hold dolphin, turbo dog. Low plank is one of the main ones I have you hold. Don't forget that things like up table can be an arm trainer. So can even like cobra, or excuse me, up dog is like an arm trainer because you're bearing weight on those arms and it's hard to hold, okay? I want you to get into those arms in a creative kind of personal way because it hasn't been that type of class where we're hitting all the range of weight bearing arms. We do that a lot. But which one you need? Get into it. Take another few moments. Remember, headstand A is a good arm trainer. Handstand at the wall is a fantastic arm trainer. Diamond push-ups. You put your hands under your heart like this, and then you do some push-ups like that. super arm trainer. Who did I lose here? Okay. You know, I say I do push-ups every day, but I don't often give you the whole story there. They're not just normal. Granted, I do the most majority normal. You know, let's just call normal elbows. I don't do elbows in yoga push-ups only. I do them like out here a lot. That's more chest. I don't really do this wide one too much, but I do diamond. I do the asymmetrical push-up like this. So I have one hand a little in front of the left. It's just like a sagittal squat. They call it a sagittal push-up. I like doing the transverse push-up too, where you look to the left. If you're doing a push-up, yogis, look. I look to the left and up, and my right shoulder dips lower. It's like training for one arm, right? So I look right, I look left. I look, and I'm feeling it in the arm that I'm turning away from. It's a really nice one as well. I do stuff like this. Right? That's a fun one. A true lateral push-up looks like this. That's a little bit more advanced training, just to give you some thoughts there. You get real creative with your push-ups. Diamonds are my favorites. Last moments here, then we're gonna stretch 10 class, just to be clear. I'm not gonna have you do like core work in the end. Because all the core work was kind of in the beginning today. Nice, Dessa. Nice, Steven. You feel that, Brian? How it hits one arm and it's asymmetrical? Nice. You gotta be careful because if you need a right shoulder front, ooh, it can get you. You'll feel it like right in there tomorrow because you're bearing a lot more weight on that lengthened shoulder. It's almost like you're doing a deeper push-up than full range when you do the twisting one, because this arm pulls back more, right? Nice. Okay, you guys done there? So I want to stretch the front body. You could do camel bow, you could do restorative bridge, but you know my favorite, one of my favorites is the Virasana. My second favorite, but most people are less capable, is the frog from Sphinx. That's really my favorite, but I can't teach it as much because the average person can't do it well. You get more compression. I'm going to stretch the front body now because the arms go behind it. It's called the Vira. Knees together, sit back. If you want to do any other stretch, that's fine. Inner thighs, hamstrings are done. So I'm going front and outer. Okay? So we go back. You take 3-4 breaths only today. You want to lay on your side and stretch your front? Beautiful. You might go into another yoga class and the teacher says, okay, a back bend. I'm saying to stretch the front body. It's basically the same thing. What does activating your glutes do? It lengthens the front body. It stretches the front body. Okay, just bringing it back to stuff we were talking about earlier. So you did your straddles. You did this too, right? That's an abductor. In the beginning, you let your knees bow out. You did the seated side stretch. So inner thighs, hamstrings are really well done. If you want to take the last little pigeon, figure 4, that would be outer posterior chain. And that was just more frontal, right? So the front of the body. So if you want to go here next, that's always a good one. I don't really teach it enough. It tends to be a place I don't need stretch that much for me personally. But I know a lot of people's IT bands are really sensitive. You know, I massage people all the time, yogis. They can take like all my strength in the hips and the back and the legs. But then you flip them over and you touch them like this. It's like you lay a cotton ball on their hip flexors and they're jumping off the table screaming. And you go like this. It's very odd, the imbalances in the bodies. Remember, you don't need to stretch every class. You could do your power pigeon. If you're feeling like you don't need more stretches, you could do headstand or legs up the wall or a block pose. It's okay. What postures do you need to unwind a little bit here? And then if you have it, you switch sides, please. Right, the same thing. I'm going to do the front body, the outer and back body, and then twist. Same thing we did on our back, same thing we did in seated, same thing we did standing. We're just trying to be well-rounded and have a strategy based off understanding of how our body works biomechanically, and then apply exercise accordingly for optimum function and abilities. We're not just doing front and back. We're not just blindly picking exercises anymore. Okay, and you're going to finish up with a twist if you're up for it. No big deal. If not, you don't need to do a twist. A seated one might be good since you did some on the back earlier. Seated spinal twist. You sit on your butt, you cross a heel outside the knee. Whatever knee bends, you turn to that side. You sit up tall and you turn. Really easy is just sitting cross-legged. I don't teach that enough. It is good. I'm just sitting on my block cross-legged now. I just take the left hand outside the right thigh. I take a few breaths there. Yeah, and then when you're done, you do your second side. You had the big dynamic twist in the beginning, and then you had that like fast one. So we went from like this static, like hip rotating thing. We did the fast. Then you did hip rotation, really dynamic on the tightness. That standing one where you turn left and right on one leg. And then it was all like dynamic twisting today, not much like holding any twists. In the beginning, you're reaching for the opposite toes on the back, the knee across, the foot across to the arm. So having that nice stretchy twist here in the end may be good, all right? You finish up here and then we do the closing pose, the release for the mind and the nerves. You release the body a little bit after the strain. Then you got to release the mind after the strain of the mind from the poses and the work. So you know what to do, right? You get comfortable and you close your eyes. You take a couple breaths. And eventually, after a few breaths, you let the breath go. If you want to do an active meditation, it's fine, but don't always do it. I'm trying to give you opportunities to do more styles of meditation. There's a lot of yoga poses for the body. There's a lot of mind poses for your emotional, mental self. And if I'm really working on, I ask a question, meditate on it, do the gratitude meditation. If I feel like I need that, I'll do chanting. If I need vibrational body, breath, if I need a little bit more, maybe do your Shavasana instead, okay? So closing yoga pose is the centering, grounding, calming, just like we started. A few minutes, please. Eyes closed, body still, mind nice and calm.